This is Heavy Conversation with Bruce and Jody, a podcast where we talk about being a big guy in today's world. I'm Bruce. And I'm Jody. Here we go.
All right, here we go. All right, here we go.
Hey, Bruce.
Hey, Jody.
How's it going?
Oh man, it's summer is upon us, and it's raining. So
Yeah, I know. It was gorgeous for like a couple days, and then I was like, oh, now it's just gonna rain and be gross today on the weekend and be nice, not be nice. But oh well, it's still summertime. Maybe we can figure out ways to get out and about a little bit more, and yeah.
it's good to talk about that because I think it's important to talk about. Summer is here. We're still in the middle of a pandemic, even though a lot of us want to forget about that.
Things are opening up everywhere, so we gotta do our parts to stay safe and still get together if we're doing that, or ways to um, start getting out of the house a little bit, but staying safe doing it.
Safely, smartly. It's really important that you think about what you're doing before you do it, and don't just forget about it and think it's all gone, because it is not.
No.
The coronavirus is still here. People are still getting sick. It's very important that you stay safe. So
Yeah.
what we're going to talk about today is really what we are planning to do for summer, which we're actually planning to do some things, and how we're going to do it safely, socially distanced,
Yep.
and
Yep.
smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now it's whenever I leave the house, my new routine is, cell phone, wallet, watch, okay, mask, face mask. The last couple of days when I was heading out the door, I'd get in the car and I'm like, shoot, I forgot my mask.
Yeah.
So I actually have put a couple extras in the car just for those times I know I'm going to forget. Because it's just
Yeah.
like the dog and getting, like for you, the kids and all their things and then the masks. And so I just put this on at least so that I'm not forgetting something.
Right.
And then I have those other masks that are just looped around your face. But yeah,
Totally.
that's my new, pat my pockets for my wallet, my phone, and my stuff, and then okay, my mask. Now I'm ready to
Right.
go.
Yeah, it's the same here. And my car and my wife's car, we've got a variety of masks waiting just in case, because I've got one that I like to wear that does a great job of covering my entire beard.
Okay.
That kind of moves from one car to another. We've got a bunch more now that we've ordered, and we've got some that are at the door. So there's a pile right next to the door. That are new and clean. We just kind of grab one and go.
Yeah.
We've got a bunch that are in the car, so just in case you forget, which has happened, we've got some backups. So it is really important to kind of cover your bases and try different masks and make sure that you're covered. And I get that some people don't like the idea of having to wear a mask all the time, but man, if it's not for you, it's for other people. So it's worth making sure that you're thinking about others. You're wearing a mask, and I think it's going to become a new part of life for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not. Unfortunately, I think it's become kind of a political thing to wear a mask or not wear a mask, and I think it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with keeping yourself and your community safe. Um, even if it does nothing, it's not that big of a inconvenience to just put it on, look like you're about to rob a bank, and then go outside and do whatever you need to do, or go to the grocery store.
Right.
It's not that big of a deal to just put it on real quick. And
Right.
I have noticed that it's mostly men that haven't been wearing them that when I go out, which I thought has been really interesting. I've seen, like couples or families, and it's like the mom and the kids have them on, but then the dad or whatever doesn't have it on. And I think I don't know what the disconnect is, if it's guys don't think it's masculine or whatever. Right. I don't know if there's a disconnect there, but everyone needs to wear them if it's going to work,
Right. Yeah, it's like a masculinity thing where they don't think it's manly to wear. I'm like, look, it's going to save your life. if you're thinking about whether it's masculine or not, that isn't even that like is not even a
Yeah,
thing. It shouldn't
I
even be
mean,
a thing.
it's a handkerchief or a what? It's not like a scarf if it's like gonna hurt your masculinity. It's not a scarf
Right,
or
right.
whatever. Like I don't, I just, I'm not, I don't understand that part of it.
Just
I
pretend, just pretend you're a cowboy and be
yeah,
done.
it's
There we go.
that's super masculine
Right, right, right. Yes,
or
yes.
whatever. Yeah,
But seriously, there are so many different kinds of masks you can find something to wear that'll work.
yeah.
And yeah, you know, there then if you're getting out, I guess that's actually my next question is really like now that things are opening up, and especially here in Oregon in Portland where we're at, they've taken longer to open up, and now they're
Hmm.
finally letting us get out a little more. And uh, just wondering, like, what are your thoughts on it? Are you getting out? Are you going to be?
I'm not super. I mean, I'm going back to work, so that's one thing that I will be doing. So that'll be getting me out. I'll be wearing a mask every day, all day at work, and wearing gloves and some other whatever precautions that we're going to be doing at work. But
Mhm.
I'm not going to be going out to the bar or going. You know, we did go out to eat over the weekend,
Hmm.
but we had our masks on when we were ordering, and then they had outdoor seating that were spaced out. How however far they needed to be. We sat and ate our meal, just the two of us, and then put our masks on and left.
Hmm.
Like,
Right.
but we're not gonna. I'm not like super excited about going to any sort of like gatherings or events or anything like that. I'm not. It's
Yeah.
just not worth it yet for me. We're
Right. Right.
just doing our normal, going to the grocery store or Target or for things that we need, and then we just are doing our normal, trying to go for walks every day. We have a little dog, and we enjoy going around the couple different parks around. We might um, on my days off, I'm going to try and get out and do a little bit more extensive walks or hikes and do that kind of
Yeah.
stuff just to get outside. It
Good.
really helps me like get moved around and we're not, and get outside and enjoy now that it's getting nicer out and
Right.
you know.
Yeah, I think that one of the things that I've really realized out of all of this is that I want to spend a lot more time outside, just outdoors. I'm
Mhm.
not I'm not really that like I'm not that interested in going to like restaurants and going into a place and sitting down and eating. I'm just and it's I mean part of it is sure the whole quarantine thing and being careful, but also I'm just kind of like, you know, if we can keep doing takeout and we can go up and order something and take it outside and go somewhere, fine, that's great. But I
Yeah.
really want to like I want to go to parks. I want to get out and go to the beach. I want to go hiking. I want to do more of these things that are just outdoor things
Yep.
as opposed to being inside. And I just feel like it's so easy. It's been so easy for us to take it for granted, up until this point when we weren't allowed to do any of it,
Right.
which obviously we shouldn't have been. So I like the idea of being able to get out and spend time, outside in the world a bit. And so a lot of this summer is really going to be looking at ways to do that. And whether it's doing things in our yard and hanging out, around the house or in our neighborhood, or whether it's actually like going places and doing some bigger things. I mean, we're talking about some other things that we can actually do away from the house that are still responsible and socially distanced. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yep.
Absolutely. Yeah. Other than like hikes and walks, Um, we haven't been doing any other activities. It was pretty rainy quite a while here in Portland, so if it actually
Yes.
stays decently nice out, we can actually get out a little bit more. I know that we both enjoy. My partner and I, Bjorn, like to do frisbee golf, and that's
Nice.
something that is outdoor and distant. It's just the two of you or whatever your family group can go do that because you just each hole you go to and you just throw your own frisbees into the
Hmm.
thing. So yeah, I'm kind of excited to do that again. That'll be a fun little activity. There's a
Yeah.
couple different courses around our area here that we can go to pretty easily, and the dog loves to come and we bring his little frisbee and throw it a little bit for him too. So
Nice.
we all get a little bit of exercise and walk around, and it's a pretty cheap activity. The frisbees are not very expensive, and then the courses are free. So it's a really easy, fun activity that we both enjoy.
Nice. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. And you're outside, so
Yeah,
perfect. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, speaking of outdoors, we are really excited to do some camping,
Oh yeah.
and we've thought about this, and so we're going to do it in a couple different stages throughout the summer. The first stage is we've got a pretty big yard, so and we've got kids, so we're going to
Yeah.
start with some camping in the yard just to kind of get out, just to be
Mhm.
out of the house and do something that's a little different. I think a big thing this summer is going to be just kind of trying to change things up in incrementally. You're doing little things that are maybe a little bit different. And for us, we're lucky enough to have a house that has a big yard and a lot of options for hanging out there. And so we happen to have a tent that's a pretty spacious tent,
Yeah.
and we're going to do a whole thing out there. And uh, I think it'll be fun. It's a good first step. um,
Hmm.
After that, we do plan on actually legitimately camping, getting out,
Okay.
going to a campground, doing the whole thing. I think that as campgrounds reopen, it's probably going to be hard to get spaces because everybody's going to want to do it,
Yeah.
and hopefully, most of those places are going to be taking social distancing into consideration. They're not going to have everybody right next to each other as
Yeah.
they're,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know,
Normally, I mean, the couple times I've gone, the camping plots or whatever are pretty far apart. So
pretty spacious. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, that'll
yeah,
be fun. I remember. I'm pretty sure when I was a kid, we would set up a tent in our living room once in a while, and
yes,
I would sleep in there. I think I remember doing that. That was always kind of fun because we didn't have
yeah.
like. Yeah, I just remember doing that when I was really like younger. That was kind of
Yeah,
fun.
it just feels like it'll be a good way to do this. That will be fun for the kids as kind of a first step, and then fun for all of us when we
Hmm.
actually get to go to a campground. So
Right.
you know, it's yeah, that's one of the things that we're definitely going to do. Is we're
Nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
yep,
So another, I mean, I don't know if it's an outside activity, but I've still been doing some of the Zoom calls with some different groups of friends just to have interactions and keep connected with my friends as much as I can. And it's even kind of nicer because I'm able to connect with friends that are across the country that I
hmm,
really don't get to see. So we've had some game nights. We do some of those Jackbox games. There's like trivia or murder mystery or whatever kind of games. And then other
yeah,
ones we just kind of sit around and chat and be goofy and have a beer or a drink or whatever or not. And
right.
it's just fun to connect and actually see friends and have a good time and get away from your family or your significant other for an hour or two and just hang out with your friends. It's been
Yep.
really fun. It's been nice.
Definitely. Yeah. I think Zoom and just video chat, it's been so important through all of this. And I think that's going to continue. It really is a good way to just kind of connect with people, especially people that you maybe wouldn't have seen on a regular basis
Yeah.
anyway, to kind
Yeah,
of
because
hang out.
I've got friends back in Minneapolis that I don't see very often, and Chicago, and just across the country that people move and do stuff, and you don't really connect. And this is
Yeah.
a perfect time to be doing that because everyone has a little bit extra time. So I'm
Right.
hoping once this slow turn to some people going back to work, we can still kind of figure out some times to
Hmm.
be able to connect and have fun and play games and just connect and chat. It's been really nice.
Definitely. We should probably open our beers for this episode.
I may have already opened mine and had a sip before.
Oh, fancy. Well, why don't
Yeah.
you start while I
Okay.
prepare?
So mine is it's from so it's part of I got my Taver beer delivery. So I've got a lot of beer to drink. I forgot I was going to drop that off today.
Oh,
Before
yeah.
this, I forgot. Sorry, because I've got a few extra for you. This
Nice.
is from Pipeworks Brewing Company from
Hey.
Chicago, Illinois. It's called Blood of the Unicorn. There's a fun, I don't know, unicorn with all kinds of stuff. It's a hoppy red ale and it is very hoppy. I already had a couple sips of it. It's good though, but I just
Nice.
haven't had a really hoppy one in a while. It's got a 6.5 alcohol by volume. I don't see the bitter, but it's really good. I'll have to look it up on the Untapped app here in a second, but it's really
Yes.
good. Blood
Nice.
of the Unicorn from Pipeworks Brewing Company.
I like that. And I like the title and the font. It kind of has like that old school, like
Yeah,
either horror or
like
B movie kind of.
brains. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's
Nice.
fun, but it's
Awesome.
hoppy. It's a good one.
Very nice. I have a beer from uh, Propolis Brewing in Port Townsend, Washington, and it is called Melissa. Yes, it's just called just
That one looks
just called
fancy.
Melissa. It is a beer that was brewed in 2017. It is a saison brewed with lemon balm. Um, So they had another one that was brewed with spruce, but I felt like we just started summer. I don't know. The sprucey one just the lemon balm,
Yeah,
you know. Now I don't know about you, but when I think about lemon balm,
yeah, I
I
can
think
do
about
that.
like something you put on your skin, on your hands, you know. Right, right. So,
Yeah, or like
oh,
lip stuff or something.
of course, there is a cork. Yeah. Well,
Uh oh.
oh, hell
Well, I
no.
guess you don't get to drink
Oh,
today.
no. There is, I've got I will. I will. I've got a
There'll
corkscrew
be a way.
around
He'll
here
figure it out.
somewhere that I just have to find, and I will because I totally didn't notice that there was a cork in this. That's it is. It is. It
That's a
yeah,
fancy
can't
one.
smell anything through it, nothing.
All
Do
right. Well,
that.
I'm going to talk about mine a little bit while you try to find that. So mine is the red ale from Pipeworks Brewing again. It says, "In this epic battle, the blood of the unicorn has been shed by the sword of the deadly assassin of the East." Woo. One sip of this aggressively hopped red ale clearly reveals what drives these, the greatest of hopheads of lore. Is this the end of the mythical horned horse, or will he rise like the phoenix to fight another day? Wow, that is very epic beer journey that you get to go on. It's very hoppy, malty, smooth, sweet, and it is kind of strong. It is kind of strong. It's got a 6.5 ABV and a 69 IBU again. So thanks to the Taver app, Taver. I still don't know. But you can get a $10 off your order at Taver if you check out our show notes. There's a little referral link. You can get $10 off your order. So definitely check that out. I'm sure you saw, I posted pictures of my big, huge beer delivery that I got. I got a little overboard on some of the ordering that I did in quarantine. Every day you get a notification that they have a new beer, and then you can just order up new beer. So
I had to
it's
run
kind of
up some
fun.
stairs, and
Oh, he's back.
the corkscrew was not where I expected it to
Woo!
be. So, yes, corkscrews. Yes,
I was going to look
Propolis,
up
P R
yours,
O P O
Melissa.
L I S Brewing. Yes.
Propolis. P-R-O-P.
Propolis.
Oh, propolis. There it is. That weird
There we
little
go.
bug
All right.
on the front.
Ooh. I pop the cork. It's a little skunky. All right. Let's
Mm-hmm.
Melissa.
Melissa.
Let's see.
Golden
Mm.
Saison brewed with lemon balm. It's got
Oh,
a 3.85 on Untapped.
yes.
One,
It
two, three.
there's a
Out of
tasting
five,
diagram
yeah.
here. If you're watching us watching the video, uh, you can see that. Yes, yes, and so
All the
it says it
flavors.
is citrusy, bready,
Oh, that's kind of fun.
uh, earthy, and yeah, it says it notes of citrus, clover, and hay, butterscotch, golden hue with a soft, creamy mouthfeel, and earthy minerality. Tastes of biscuit, honey glazed baguette, white pepper, light mint, floral bitters, pomelo, and honey. Crisp with a refreshingly dry finish. All right. It says enjoy now or age for 2+ years. It has aged for 2+ years. So here we go. I should pour it into
Okay.
a glass, but I'm not that refined today. So,
Two plus.
mm.
Eh, it's all right. You're not sharing it.
Wow, that is actually really good. It's
Yeah.
it's got that, you know, I feel like most saisons are pretty, they're pretty easy to drink. They've got kind of a, I don't know, I don't even know how to describe it. It's not hoppy, that's for sure. It's just this like, they're just easy to drink in general. But on top of that, you get a little bit of the lemon. I'm definitely getting some of the earthiness they're talking about, and it's in a good way. Um, Reminds me of like, this is going to throw it off, and nobody will want to try it. But it reminds me a little bit of like the same kind of flavor you kind of get from root vegetables. I don't know how to describe that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, earthy. Yeah. Well, that's like the
Oh
hay and
man,
the
this is,
stuff.
I
It's like
am
earthy.
super impressed with this. I did not know what to expect when I saw it. It was, I wanted something that wasn't a Portland beer. It just felt like, you know, um, it's from
Yep.
it's
Yep.
from what?
And that's
Yes,
from
yes,
Port Townsend, Washington.
yes,
Townsend,
and
Townsend.
yeah, 6.5%, and yeah, I would say I would definitely drink this again. Absolutely.
Nice.
Hmm.
That one's. I will
Yeah,
have to try
yeah, it
and
makes me
keep
want
an
to try
eye
the
out for
others.
something from them.
I believe the others had people's names as well. So,
Yeah, they have. Oh, they have a
hmm.
lot of different ones. Spruce Farmhouse saison.
Oh well, you know, I'm sure
Oh, I
somebody
don't see
out
a
there
lot of
has.
names, but
I'm sure somebody has named their child Spruce at some point. It says that the beer is field crafted, so I'm not sure what that means, but I like the idea of somebody like with a brewing pot that's boiling with, you know, in the middle of a field in the Pacific
yeah,
Northwest. I don't either,
right.
and
I'm not
I
sure
really
what
don't
that.
care because it's a good beer.
I was trying to look at their website, but they have a lot of stuff on here. So
It does. Yeah, super impressed. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I had never heard of the brewery before, so I was, you know, really. Uh, I'm always looking for a beer that we haven't heard of or haven't tried before. I mean, that's always our thing, is to try a beer we've never tried whenever we can. But yeah, yeah, I like this.
yeah,
So, uh,
yeah. Their
nice,
brewery started in 2012, so it's not even that old of a
awesome.
brewery.
Well,
Anyways, they have a very nice website. You can go check them out. So they've got our story and a bunch
awesome.
of different beers that you can check out. So
Yes.
got to figure out where how to get them. Maybe maybe hopefully Tabor app has got those once in a while. So every day you
Well, yeah.
get a new beer to check out. So but be
it's
careful
it's a
because you
good
can go
thing.
a
Now
little
you have a
crazy
lot
like
of
I
beers
did.
to try.
Yes, I have a lot of
Perfect.
beers to try. Yes. All right. So what else? What else? What
Uh,
other kind of activities are you thinking about getting into this summer? Or
well, one other thing I kind of wanted to throw out along the lines of, you know, we're talking about. I brought up just kind of doing incremental things as you're getting back out there, and I think that it's probably important for everyone to kind of think about the fact that if you're like a lot of us, your life has been turned kind of upside down by all of this, where you've been uh, not working, or you're having to work from home. You've been stuck at home for months, you know, and
Mhm.
that can, you know, that can play hell on your well-being and your how you're feeling
Yep.
mentally and, you know, emotionally. And uh, it for some of us, it's a good way to push against that and to work around that, is to just make little changes or do little things. If it's just getting out and we've talked about this before, getting out and walking around the block, or going for a walk, or you know, getting out of the house for a little while, just to, I mean, there have been a couple days where we've just gotten in the car and you just drive just to
Yep.
do things that kind of help your well-being. Because it is, I if you go back, or if you've been listening to Heavy Conversation for a while, when we started this, I was certainly like, well, you know, I think it's going to be different, but, you know, I work from home all the time, so
It's not
this
a
is,
big deal. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well, I was wrong. I was definitely
Hmm.
wrong, and it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with, you know, because it's not just staying home and working from home. It's, you're at home. This is it. There's nothing else. And, you
Yep.
know, for everybody in my family, it's been this crazy thing, and our kids are home, and it's like we just, we're not doing any of the things that we can normally do. And yes, here in Portland, we're in phase one, and I'm sure people listening to this all over the country or all over the world are in different phases or no phases or whatever. But it's still, it's just this whole thing has been such a different experience that thinking about about how that affects you is important. And so,
Hmm.
like, I mean, we're talking about putting a tent out in the backyard and doing that. It's partially for fun, just for
Yeah.
the kids, but it's also for something different,
Yeah.
because I don't foresee us, at least here in my house, we're not going to be going to big public functions.
Hmm.
We are definitely going to be doing takeout and still doing our shopping and all that, but we're not. I don't see our lives changing much from what they've been since like March when all this
Right.
kind of went into effect.
Yeah, that's kind of the same with us. Like, it's just we've had to figure out ways of just kind of changing it up. One of the big things I've done recently is limited the amount of news that I've been watching.
Mm,
I still check in for a little bit, but I try not to get too sucked in or sit there for hours reading or watching.
right.
I know that there was a lot going on with some of the protests, and then what all the stuff that's going on, which are really important things to be happening, but it also started to affect my mood and my sleeping, and my anxiety level just kind of went through the roof. And I just decided I need to just kind of step back a little bit, um, do some other reading activities outside of just consuming the news. And it just kind of accelerates or tries to amplify or one up every news thing. It's like this dramatic thing or this even more dramatic thing, and I'm like, okay, I had
Yeah.
to just kind of reel it in a little bit. Like I said, I still check in. I'm like, okay, what are some of the high level things? What's going on? Where are we at? Like with us reopening, what's going on? But I didn't go to the news so much. I went to like the health department website or whatever, the state's coronavirus thing, and I just kind of read it. Where are we at? What are we supposed to be doing? That kind of thing. Instead of watching news or reading comments, that just gets me all kinds of upset when I read comments. So
Yeah.
just cutting out some of that stuff that is gets you riled up, that I think is that's a good thing for me anyways.
It is kind of like a fire hose. I mean, it's like getting hit in the face with a fire hose because it just
Hmm.
keeps coming, and it's news, and it's media, and then it's social media, and then it's like people or people a little bit, or
Hmm.
people from your life from your youth when you were growing up who you don't really see anymore, but you happen to follow on social
Yep.
media, or it's family members that you're not that close with that. It's all of these things that it just gets to be so much. And that's not saying that you should just not pay attention to any of it, but it's
Hmm.
saying that you need to practice self-care, and you know, you need to have your time away from that because it can be an overload, you
Yeah,
know?
and that's where those like going for walks and whatever. Just keep your phone in your pocket or whatever. Don't sit there scrolling when you're out for a walk. Like actually take that time to be away from it. And I've seen a lot of people taking little breaks from social media, which I sometimes wish I could do a little bit more of, but because of work and stuff, I'm on social media a lot because of that.
Right.
But I try to keep it like I only do it from this time to this time, and then I'm done, and I move on to something else, and I'm not, you know, But like you said, do what you need to do to, what works for you. But I would definitely suggest taking some breaks from social media and some of the news. Sometimes it kind of starts to ramp you up a little bit.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's important. Think about mentally how you're feeling and how you're getting through all this and go from there.
Hmm.
As far as other things to do this summer, a big theme for me is just going to be getting out and being in, outdoors and enjoying it. So obviously riding my bike and doing all of that, but something that we've been looking at, and I think we're going to be doing in the next few weeks, is getting an RV and
Oh,
actually taking a road trip.
that
Um,
sounds fun.
yes, it's a form of camping, of course, but doing it in RV, I mean, it feels like a good way to do it as, as somebody who doesn't, maybe you don't camp all the time, and maybe you're a bigger person who doesn't love the idea of sleeping in a
Sleeping on
tent.
the ground. Yeah,
I,
that's
I don't know about you, but like my kids wanted to do a sleepover, where I slept in their room. And so I did that a couple nights ago and slept in their bed, and it was damn uncomfortable. Good Lord. My back, I was waking
yeah,
up, tossing and turning. And so it's like when you sleep in beds that aren't your own, you're like, oh.
right.
So camping, I do like to camp. I love to get out there in the tent and everything, but my body feels it sometimes. So, I'm thinking RV could be a good way to get out there and enjoy that kind of experience without having to throw up a tent and hope for the best, if that's, not something you're, if that is a hesitation for you. So,
Hmm.
um,
Yeah, that
and
sounds
there are,
fun.
yeah, and there are a lot of different ways that you can rent RVs. Lots of RV rental websites and businesses. Outdoorsy is one that's kind of like you tell them where you live. It's almost like an Airbnb for RVs, and you go through. You pick the RV that works for you. It can be anything from like a camper van to a big RV that you see like bands, touring in.
Yeah. Hmm.
Uh, and you pick your RV and how long you want it and all that good stuff, and you kind of go. And so, being able to do something like that just seems like a fun way to go. I really want to take an RV and go camp in the desert. I
Oh
just feel
yeah.
like that would be fun. So,
Better do it
you
quick
know,
before it gets really hot.
yes. So, just being able to kind of get out, do that, I feel like it'll be a little different. It'll be fun. So,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I wish that we would have maybe thought about that before I had to go back to work. But
Uh,
I know I'm like,
yes.
and that's going to be. I'm trying to figure out a schedule with going back to work and figuring that out and getting the crew back too, trying to connect with everyone. That's been kind of I've been texting and connecting with a lot of my coworkers or employees, just checking in and that kind of stuff. But just been like, okay, are y'all ready to come back to work? And trying to give them as much warning as possible because we were supposed to come back like a week ago, and then
Hmm.
the governor put a pause, and so we're like, are we actually coming back? Okay.
Right.
So which is fine. I completely understand putting a pause on it, but we'll see how that goes. But I have been taking some different courses and classes online. So I've been doing a lot of more business stuff for Bearskin about marketing and emails and that kind of more businessy stuff. So I've been trying to think of different, some of the more of those art classes because I was doing some of those paint night things and I've got paint supplies. So I'm trying to figure out some of those type of activities or drawing classes that you can do somehow online or with watching videos. I was trying to do the Bob Ross where I would just watch his videos and paint, but he goes so darn fast that it got a little intimidating. So I've only done the one.
Yeah.
I've only done one, which is this
Right.
right here. I actually have it right here. Oh, which I was very proud of that I did
Hey.
this. But I cursed a few times at Bob Ross, which I wasn't proud of
Look at
for
those
going.
happy little trees.
I know I got happy trees, and if it's far enough away, it looks great. It looks, there's trees and mountains
Yeah,
and
yeah.
clouds.
I love it.
Um, but so I need to get back into that, do something that's a little bit, more creative than so businessy and whatever. And so
Yep.
I'm going to try and take some sort of art thing online somehow. Maybe I'll just try and get back onto Bob Ross's videos. But
Nice.
excuse me, we'll see. We'll see if just have to pause the videos. Oh my god, excuse me, a little bit more. So I got to
Yeah.
do some more creative outlet for me for
Yeah.
myself.
And there are so many little things that you might not think of as like, I don't know, like we've talked about this before whenever we first kind of got into quarantine about just doing things that maybe you wouldn't take the time to do otherwise.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is the time. This is the time to do it. Think about those things that would be fun for you that you've always wanted to try that maybe the thing you've wanted to learn or a hobby you've wanted to pick back up or
Yeah.
whatever, you've got time for that. There's no reason to keep putting it off. You might as
Yeah.
well try it now.
And it's fun just to try. You don't have to be an expert. You don't have
You
to,
don't.
sell your art or your music or your whatever. Just do it for yourself
Right.
as just an outlet or as something different to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because we get into those repetitive routines of whatever, sitting on the couch watching whatever Netflix show you're watching, or
Yes.
consuming the news or scrolling Instagram or whatever. But
Yeah.
trying to have an outlet that makes you be a little bit creative somehow is really fun, and it really helps use a different part of your brain and just kind of get you outside of that.
Yep.
And it can be a release of that stress and anxiety of just putting it on canvas or paper or into your music or whatever it is. You can get it out on that in that way. It's kind of fun too. I can curse at
Absolutely.
Bob Ross and it doesn't hurt anybody.
That's right. That's right. Perfect. Well,
Oh,
good.
I'm
I
getting hiccups from this beer.
Yeah. Well, the sign of a good beer.
Yes.
Well, good. I hope this has given some people, a few ideas as to things that they can do this summer to keep busy, enjoy themselves, make the most of it without doing the normal things that we would want to do. Hopefully this time next year we're in a place where we can be together again, and things are back to some semblance of what we had before. But if not, you're going to have to make it work, and
Yep.
you got to be resourceful. So there you go.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for hanging out today, Bruce, and
Thank you,
thanks
Jody.
everybody for listening. Make sure that you're subscribed to our podcast so you know exactly when our new episodes come out. You can subscribe on all of the different platforms that you are listening on. Also, check us out on YouTube. You can watch our amazing faces
Yes, yes.
doing this, so you can subscribe on YouTube as well. And tell a couple friends. Maybe somebody else needs some inspiration of what to do this summer, so tell them to check us out.
Please.
All right. Well, thanks, Bruce.
Thanks, Jody. See you next time.
Bye, everyone. I still have more
Bye.
beer to drink. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Heavy Conversation. Be sure to like and subscribe on iTunes or wherever you get your
podcasts. Podcasts.